Hi, everybody, and welcome to And Here is Modi. We are in the studio today, me, Periel, and a very, 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 very special guest, Aaron
Smoylar.
Those of you who aren't watching this, I can't say that it's 18-year-old student from Penn, UPenn. I found him online, sent it to you. You got him to come here. He is the founder of a program called
Cleo.
Cleo.
Yeah.
Cleo. No, I the whole time I haven't been getting it right. And of course now I'm not going to get it right either. Cleo.
Yeah.
The Cleo initiative.
The Cleo initiative. And it is, when I saw it, I was on a flight. And I perked up. I couldn't believe this is happening. This is what I'm talking about. You in broad strokes, you go in to old age homes and you help seniors with their devices, with their phones, iPads, whatever, technology.
Yeah.
So Cleo stands for
Computer Literacy Education Outreach.
Computer Literacy Education Outreach.
Yeah.
And you guys go into this old age homes and senior living. I don't know what the right way to say it is.
I was just thinking.
And people who just are challenged with, and let me tell you something, I've always said that, because now I'm at a point where I speak to Hillels and all kinds of youth groups as, just because it's easier to bring me as a speaker rather than to hire me as a comedian.
Right.
And cheaper. So the young kids ask me hey, how do you know what your goal in life is? So I always tell millennials and Gen Zs, your purpose in life is to help older people with their technology. Anything you do above that is your gravy, is your entrance into the world to come. But your main purpose on earth is to help. I always kept saying that, and then all of a sudden I see it was a news piece about you guys, and I was blown away. And I said, I have to meet this kid, and that's really Mashiach energy. What you do.
Thanks.
So tell the speakers into the microphone, to the speakers, to the listeners about this.
Yeah, so it just started at my high school. Me and a couple buddies were sophomores, and we were just looking right now the thing to do is start something in high school, it'll look good on your resume. But a lot of people do things that they don't really sort of follow through with or care about. And we wanted to, we were ambitious. We wanted to do something good that, would actually really have an impact. So we were basically just talking about different ideas, and something that happened one day. We basically just had a conversation joking about different sort of funny ways in which our own grandparents struggled with their technology. And so we were our school already, it sort of was all this perfect situation where our school was already had a good relationship with the retirement home right next door. It's independent living for seniors. And so we thought, why don't we just go maybe once a month, bring out some of our friends, get some community service hours, help them with their devices. We didn't really think too much about it. And then we started to go, and we sort of realized that, we were actually kind of becoming friends with the seniors and becoming closer and, learning their names, and they would tell us about their grandkids, and we would help them get in touch with their grandkids. Sometimes they'd struggle to, find their contact or something, how to call them, stuff like that, emails. And so, eventually we realized that there was, because if you think about it, every kid who is, under the age of anyone under the age of 30 has helped an older family member, even maybe not even 30, maybe 50, has helped an older family member with their device. So we thought it was just a good way for us to put to use all the skills we learned through mindlessly scrolling on our phones.
Right.
And so, so then, we started doing once a week. And then from there, we kind of realized we were onto something big, that there was something here that really could be made bigger. And we realized, so there's a mom at our school who knew a local news station reporter, and they did a story for us on the local news. And then eventually some avid viewer of the local news sent an email to Steve Hartman or his team for at CBS, and Steve Hartman came and did a story, and then it was really sort of started to get the ball rolling. Like we got up to like 15 different schools doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So we're basically just helping kids do the same thing that we did at their schools.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going into to a retirement home, to a place where seniors are living. I mean, I've done that as a comedian.
Okay.
I've performed on 108th Street. There's some home. I never figured. I got there and there were no chairs because everybody was brought in a wheelchair.
Oh wow.
And I did a show for them. It was great. And there's people who go in and they sing to seniors, to seniors. You're going in and you're doing like you're bringing light into these. First of all, just to sit with you and to speak to an 18-year-old, just to not have to hear stories that they're hearing from their own friends. That's already next level of Mashiach energy.
100%.
And then you're helping them. Like they might even. What do you think the retaining percent of what they're like if you teach them something, how much do they retain it?
Yeah, I mean it's low.
It's low,
but it's like it's like a weekly thing. It's I would say it takes like. I mean we
give me an example. What's one person you've helped them figure out how to send something or do something?
For something on the phone, it's usually pretty simple. They do user friendly stuff. But if it's something like a printer or like a TV, like those things are so arcane. They don't update them. Even the newest printers are like horrible to use. So there was a guy, I guess, in our, should I say the name? Is that allowed?
Say his first name, Irving.
Ron. So we went to his house many times to help with the same issue. And to be fair, it's like it wasn't his fault. Like we had to go online, and that's like a skill that they lack. Like they don't know how to go online and research
Ron's
the
issue though?
It was something to do with the printer and
right.
So we came a few times and had to debug that, and it was.
I'll tell you a funny story. So I ordered a printer.
Yeah.
I like a printer. I like a printer.
Uh-huh.
I like to go to with a boarding card to the airport. I like I print out my set list. I print out my set list, and so I have a printer. And I ordered. I was broke. I ordered one, and it arrived. And Leo looks at it, and he was going out to meet with friends. My husband's much younger, he's a millennial, and so he said to me, "Bye and good luck with that," right? And just in spite of him, I put it together, and I sent him a video of me, a video of me like saying, "I love you," and can't get the printer to work. But it was like you had to go into I had to download an app, and then the app walked me through it. There's no way.
It's horrible.
I walk around all the time. Whenever we go to the airport, whenever we go to order something online or something, I go, my parents would never be able to do this. My parents would never be able to do this. Like, they'd never in the airport and this and that. I had a crazy story. I was at the airport in Israel, and they have a kosher McDonald's. And I wanted a McDonald's burger. And I went to the machine to do it, and I haven't done that Leo does all of that. Yeah. I was and Leo saw me, and we were already stressed because we had some issue with booking or something, and I was ready to put my fist through this, and he comes over he's like, no, well, you ordered a meal plan, so there's this drink you have to. I know you don't want to drink, you just want a burger, and he's like, and tick, 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 and he's done, and you're just. Yeah, it's hard.
I saw one of the clips that you guys had that this woman had 122,000 emails, and she thought she had to delete them one at a time.
So the same thing with me.
Yeah,
I don't answer my emails. Okay. I don't answer I have an email, and we have the one for work. And one of the best things that happened to me is I don't have to answer emails. So my husband handles all of that. Right. And so I had like over 100. I had more than that.
But he was also surprised to learn that you're supposed to answer emails like when you get them. Like he was like, how do you keep up with all of these like thousands?
I used to before. But anyway, you're sitting with these people who were thrusted into this world.
Sure.
You keep in mind in their lifetime, if you're 90 or 80, this phone thing is such a small percentage of your life when it happened, and all of a sudden, boom, everything is on this. everybody go to the website, go to this, where they used to have a salesperson that they spoke to, and they had somebody, my mom just had her mortgage, not her mortgage, her life and my mother's house insurance. She's been with the same people for 47 years, and all of a sudden they went paperless and sent her an email, and she missed one payment. And then she lost something with the umbrella. It was a whole thing, but like, it's so challenging.
Did you see the expression on Aaron's face when you said to call a salesperson? Like, that is like landing on the moon.
Well, I've had to start dealing with calling like with Cleo because we are all like official now. So I'm trying to deal with the IRS right now, which I've never done before. And like I called them and I was like, hey, I filled out this paperwork online. I think I made a mistake. How do I fix it? And they're like, oh yeah, you need to call this other number. But I was waiting for them for like 15 minutes, like not 15, like they said 15 minutes on the thing. It said like wait time 15 minutes, but it was really like 30, 45 minutes. I was sitting there and then finally they're like, call this other number. I call the other number. They're like, if you need help with this, call the IRS. So, in the end, I haven't called them back because I don't know. Like, I need to strategize.
You have to call the IRS back. I'm gonna give you. Be okay with the IRS. I'll tell you.
They don't call though. No, you guys don't call each other.
No,
right?
the IRS has a phone number you can call.
No,
I've spoken to them.
I'm talking in general. Like your friends. Like you guys don't call each other.
You have a website you guys go to. You guys don't know from calling people.
Well, if it's like something I need right now, I'd call.
But you don't even call each other, right? Like most communication is through text.
Oh, for sure, most. But if it's like something that needs to be resolved right now, I would.
Anyway, let's get back to this. So you really found a way to help. You don't even understand. You're too young to understand how much this is going to help you. Miracles will come into your life later on. You won't. It's like the cause and effect isn't right away. So you're doing this mitzvah. You're doing a mitzvah. You're doing a straight up mitzvah, creating Mashiach energy.
Thank you.
Even just by sitting with these people. If one thing they can figure out, it's a miracle. But they had an afternoon with somebody young, looking into somebody young's young eyes and seeing their world, and it's such an amazing thing you're doing. You'll see the miracles later on. It might not be coming right away, but you'll see them. And what's like the most amazing story you have of your interactions with these seniors? What's like the best story?
Yeah, I think the nice thing, well, it's just the only reason we kept going is because we knew it was really like this great thing, and we saw that it really had like an outsized impact given whatever work it took. But something that really was sort of shocking was it was our first year volunteering, and we had gotten up to like 30, 45 volunteers. And we come in, this is our last volunteering session before we go off, before we were going off to winter break for a few weeks, coming back after New Year's. And they're like, surprised, we got there, they're like, no volunteering today, like get everyone here. So all like 30 came, and all the seniors like pulled together money to get us all gift cards, and they came out and they gave like speeches on like how much it was impactful to them. And so that was really like a moment where, because a lot of times, they don't show like how that they're grateful like in the moment, like, but I don't know. That was a very special moment.
It's very nice. They give you that money is energy. You were giving them energy. They just gave you some energy back. It's what that is. Yeah. And so that's unbelievable. So I just want to wrap up, even though we're only a few minutes in, just tell us how people can help you. How can somebody that just says, this is amazing, how can we help you?
Yeah, so if you are a kid in high school, or we even do some colleges now, and you want to, start a chapter, then you can go to our website, cleoinitiative.org. And it's sort of pretty self-explanatory, but there's like a get started page, and it walks you through exactly, how to get in touch with us, how to get started, and you can start your own chapter. Otherwise, if you know anyone who might be interested, just shoot them the link to the website, or the podcast.
Yeah.
And, also, we take donations on the page if anyone would be interested in giving them. So there's just it's pretty. It's like right as you get on the page, it says donate. So
Amazing.
You could give us a donation. That just helps us.
Are you already a nonprofit organization?
Yeah, we are.
So you're doing good. Yeah, you figured that out.
Yeah,
Good for you.
It's been a few years, but yeah, it was definitely difficult to figure out all the technical stuff. Lots of but
that's amazing that you guys started like a formal nonprofit.
It's amazing. I'm so proud to have you on the podcast. I can't even tell you. It's literally, you see, an 18-year-old Mashiach energy. Unbelievable.
Well, we had a lot of help. I mean, for example, like to get all these incorporation things done, it's expensive. So like a member of our Fort Myers, Florida Jewish community, like basically paid for us to get incorporated, and she is like involved in the synagogue and stuff like that. So she
Mashiach energy.
Yeah.
Mashiach. You're learning. You're at 18. You are understanding what Mashiach energy is. Which brings me to the next thing about your life when we talked about before the podcast began. You go to the Chabad house of UPenn.
I do.
How is it?
It's good. I mean, I go, every couple weeks, and I think I'm lucky to be at a school where there's such a big Jewish community. I think it's somewhere around 15% of the school. So people sometimes say like pejoratively UPenn.
Yeah, I went to be Jew, to be you.
Okay,
it's not like a new thing.
Jewton, Massachusetts.
Jewton, Massachusetts, yeah. So you go to the Chabad house of UPenn.
Yep.
Yeah. And so who's the rabbi?
So Rabbi Levi is our rabbi.
Levi's his first name. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Wow.
It's just Rabbi Levi. That's just who he is.
Well, so the Chabad rabbis, it's like this. The young ones go by their first name, Rabbi Mendy, Rabbi Zalman, and the older ones go by their last name, Rabbi Chanukhovsky. And so, but the rabbi at your school is your link to the Rebbe. Do you know about the Rebbe?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's his whole purpose there is obviously to make you feel welcome, let you know that you're a Jew, and he's probably blown away by what you do with Chloe, right?
Cleo.
He's blown away, right? He must be blown away.
I don't even know if he knows.
You got to be kidding me.
I don't know.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm just there for the
conversation, the little mashka, the little vodka shots, right?
Yeah.
But he's a very important.
No, not that.
What?
Not the vodka shots.
He's 18.
Oh, no vodka shots. Oh, that's right. No vodka shots. Absolutely not.
No.
Having what's it called? The grape juice, that hideous grape juice. Manischewitz grape juice. Yes. Okay. I'm getting Rabbi Levi in trouble.
You're getting me in trouble.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble. No, the Chabad house. I went to BU to the Chabad house. I was there every week. It was Rabbi Posner, last name.
Where's Rabbi Posner these days?
He's there. He's still there. Rabbi Posner.
We have to have him on the show.
I don't know if I'm ready. He's such a huge thing in my life. I have to prepare.
Okay.
I have to prepare.
Speaking of preparing, this is also Aaron's first podcast ever.
Thank God, this is your first. I'm so glad this is your first podcast on this. So so just to end up that, so you have a Chabad house that you go to at UPenn, and utilize that and learn about the Rebbe.
Yeah, are you Chabadnik? Are you Chabad?
Is his shirt black? Yes, I am. Okay. Everybody's Chabad.
Okay.
Some people just don't know they are.
I see.
Yeah, you're Chabad too. You're also Chabad. The work you're doing is a Chabad work. It's
Chabad's good. Yeah.
I'm an emissary of the Lubavitch Rebbe.
There you go.
I can tell you that. I'm like Rabbi Levi.
Mashiach
energy. Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What are you looking at me like that for?
I'm digesting that we're all Chabad. I didn't know we were all Chabad.
Yeah, when you send all that stuff to Israel and you do all the volunteer work and it's Chabad. That's what that is. That's what that's about. Helping others. Please.
It's a different episode.
It's a different episode. But go ahead.
My sister, she's very close with the MIT Chabad.
Wow.
I don't know.
The only thing now missing is Harvard. You have UPenn, MIT, and Harvard. Those are the three presidents that got fired.
Okay.
Yeah. We have Harvard. My niece was at Harvard.
and what's the vibe on the anti-Semite scene
at Penn?
At Penn, yeah. What's going on now?
It's it's much quieter than before I got there for sure. My parents were worried just because like Penn was a focal point.
Yeah.
But after the whole thing with the president, Liz McGill, and it's just quieted down. So the current administration under the interim president's just very anti any political demonstration. I mean, there's been demonstrations, but they've walked around campus, not in.
Right.
But you feel like as a Jewish student on campus, you can be Jewish?
Yeah. I think it's definitely not what my parents were worried about, for sure. There's people walk around with.
It's very
both.
encouraging to meet somebody.
People walk around Penn with the yarmulkes and their stars out, and they're bring them home pins and all that, and the vibe is a little easier now.
It's easier. I mean, there's also people walking around with keffiyeh, but it's
which is okay. Which is good.
It's a mutual it's just peaceful demonstration.
That's how it should be. It's just how it should be. There's nothing I love more than seeing a keffiyeh or not a keffiyeh so much, but was the hijabs, women with hijabs in my audience. It makes me so happy.
I love seeing the Palestinian flag with the Israeli flag and a little dove together.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Great.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, ultimately, right? It's gonna have to come to that, right? I mean, there's no it's gonna have to come to a resolution eventually. Right?
Yes, it has to come, and everybody has to feel like they won. That's the main thing.
It's true.
Everybody loses and everybody wins, right? That's the nature of compromise. You have to give up a little bit to move. Everybody has to move a little bit towards each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
I took AP US history. Great compromiser, Clay, I think was his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he was big during the founding. And he basically brought the two sides. I mean, the parties were different then, but he was this guy who was look, let's just find a middle ground and move on, when everyone was being very, I mean, it's not a new thing to be stuck in your ideology and you can't compromise. But so a lot of legislation was passed because he was able to,
compromise.
Yeah.
So you are at a very storied school.
Well, obviously the incoming president went to Penn. How do you feel about that?
I think Penn definitely distances themselves from Trump.
They do?
I would say so.
Okay.
I mean, there's no buildings named after him. I don't know if he donated, so that could be. But yeah. I mean, I don't know if I could say that for certain, but there's definitely no buildings named after him. I don't know if they're really distancing themselves from him or if he's distancing himself from them. I mean, hard to say. But there's definitely not a lot of affiliation. Although, in the debate, he was Wharton, I'm from Wharton. During the debate, there were 3 or 4 references to Penn, the presidential debate. And I was in a watch party, and everyone went crazy. And then, so it's nice to be somewhere that's very relevant and current. And
And Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, he lived a few doors down, basically, from where I live. When he was a RA of my building, in the 90s or something.
Could you imagine Elon Musk as your RA?
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's just plug plug everything at once and see what happens. I can't imagine going to school with Elon Musk.
Well, I'm sure he's.
Do you have any Elon Musky guys in your? You can tell these are the next Elon Musks in your school.
I don't know if I could say, I don't know. Elon Musk is a very unique guy, so hard to predict. I'm sure Elon Musk, if you looked at Elon Musk when he was at Penn, you wouldn't be able to say he was the next Elon Musk.
Stuck out. I'm sure he stuck out. Yeah. I'm sure was something someone said that's going to be something unique. Yeah. Anyways, back to Cleo.
Sure.
Back to Cleo. Where do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why it couldn't be in any high school, there's so many high schools, but there's also so many seniors, and there's a million different directions we can take it, where we can do house calls or something. Right now we're just doing something very simple, something that we can manage, which is a high school visits, a retirement home, or senior living, something like that. But I think we'll take it as we go. But right now we're just looking to expand and make a big impact with this idea. I think like it's easy to tell when an idea is really good because there's no resistance to like spreading that idea. Like there's no one's losing in this situation. You don't have to sell anyone on Cleo. People, kids need something to do for their resume realistically, and seniors need help with their devices. And
it's so funny you say that the kids need this for their resume.
I mean,
they do.
I'm not, I'm a realist.
You
here.
understand, right? But you understand that this is more than just.
Oh, 100%. But
this is a very spiritual thing you're doing. It's
definitely.
not. It's not.
But I think that is something that even like that's something that you realize after you start doing it. Like,
what's like an amazing story you had, like a one-on-one connection with one of the seniors, like some story that they told you that blew you away and like it was life-changing?
I mean, they always just are so willing to put themselves out because like a lot of them are pretty lonely, so everything from like family members like passed away, and it's something like that's one of the reasons why we try to limit to high school, because if you have like little kids, like it sometimes can be a bit emotionally mature. Like you need to be emotionally mature to do it. So we had people who we volunteered with, helping them, and then they would pass away like over the course of the time that we were there. So it's just it can be very like.
So you got back and they weren't there the following week.
Yeah, wow. Like one day, one of the people who would regularly come was like, he wasn't there, and there's a picture of him on the piano, and a little like in memoriam, and it's very it can be very tough. But I think because as a high school student, they haven't dealt with death yet. Your grandparents are still alive. Your parents are still well, unless there was some kind of like super traumatic thing in someone's house, and all of a sudden you're dealing with death. Yeah. So there's a lot of stories. For like there was one lady who she would come often, and her friend would come, and one of them stopped coming because she had complications in the surgery. She passed away. The other one started coming and bringing the friend's dog because someone needed to take care of her dog. So the dog was passed to the friend, and so it's a lot of it takes like sometimes you have to step back and sort of like
And now that everyone in like your world knows that you do this, or is like everybody's grandparents, including your own, like calling you like Aaron.
That's funny. Yeah. Not really. I mean, my grandparents, it was I helped them a lot before, but I think people are more likely to call their own grandkids. But we get emails from like people's grandparents, like people we don't know, who email us off our website, which is good for them. And they're like, I'm struggling with technology. Like, can you help us? And it's tough because you can't like, how do you approach a senior who needs help when you have to find a school and be like, find us kids to run this program? It's very hard to
That's great
organize.
Though. That's really the key then, right?
Yeah.
Obviously these people can't get on a Zoom call with you.
Right. And that's one, it's hard to connect digitally with them.
So
right?
I want all the high school kids to go to this thing.
So every single retirement center or senior living needs to get like linked up with like local high schools.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant model.
We definitely, that's something we're thinking about how to implement, like a way to actually do some kind of algorithmic, like we have, a map full of people who have reached out to us in some kind of pairing or some way to, reach out. I mean, it's manual right now. So a lot of times when a senior will reach out to us at a certain senior living place, we'll say like, get us in touch with your
social worker people,
your admin, like the administration, and then we'll try to see what we can do. And it's
that's great.
It's very difficult to do it the other way, from this starting with a senior facility and moving to a high school, because you need someone who has like the motivation to really.
So you're saying it's easier to start with a high school and then sort of figure out.
Send them to the.
I mean, there's been very few that I know, these senior living places, that have said no. They all would love.
And so what's the first point of contact at like a high school that you guys talk to? Like who do you need at these high schools to then facilitate that connection?
We mostly start with a kid who wants to start the club.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And it's really just because we work with whoever wants to work with us. So it's just right now we don't have a great outreach program. It's a lot of, most of the publicity we have came from that story on CBS, and then they re-aired it like a month ago, and we got a second wave. And so now we were at 15 before this, then this aired. Now we're working with like 40 schools.
Wow.
And so we're slowly building it. We're thinking of ways to encourage kids who are already involved to like show this to their friends, and maybe like if a chapter is fully established and they start volunteering, to give them like a little like $10 like referral bonus just for helping us expand and stuff like that. We're just trying to think of ways to keep it going, because that's the hardest part of the equation, is finding the people to run the program at the schools.
That's amazing.
I have a high school kid for you who is going to love to do this. No, not mine. You know what else you could give them instead of a $10 referral?
What?
You could give them an A&H Provision gift card.
An A&H Provision gift card. A&H is one of the sponsors of our podcast.
Why not?
A&H Provisions, they are... Seth would love this. Are you crazy? Seth would love this. They are the top Glatt kosher meats, and they are collaborators with us. They are partners with us, and I hope you find good partners for yours. And you can get their amazing hot dogs and all their meats on kosherdogs.net. 30% off with promo code MODI for your first purchase. And Weitz and Luxembourg, the law firm that not only does well, they do good. They're super philanthropic. They're friends, and they help the podcast as well. Arthur Luxembourg, I'm going to introduce you directly to him.
He would love this.
He would love this. I told him about you last night.
Okay.
I had dinner with him last night, and his friend sponsored the podcast, and this is right up his alley. He's going to love this and help you guys out for sure. So thanks to Weitz and Luxembourg and
WeitzLux.com.
WeitzLux.com.
Great.
That's it. What else is happening there? Do you have a girlfriend out in Penn?
No, I'm looking.
You're looking.
Yes.
What are you looking for in a girlfriend?
Get Eliza on the phone.
I
don't need Eliza. I can handle his matchmaking situation. Go ahead.
Looking for someone who lives in my area.
That's not a big look.
No, I'm just I don't know.
When you go on dates with girls, 18-year-olds now go on dates with girls. What's the conversation? What's up?
I feel like it's easy to tell. Like,
wait, this is really interesting. How do you meet? Like, you guys aren't on apps dating, right?
I'm not.
No.
Some people.
So even like at 18, you guys are meeting.
Well, it's like not really for dating. It's more for people who
like hooking up, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the conversation when you guys talk about now when you got?
Just I don't know. There's no like.
So I was at an event for young Jewish singles thing, and somebody asked me like, "What's a good joke? What should we talk about on these dates?" I always talk again. Everything goes back to the Rebbe. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said when two people meet, the first thing they should talk about is how to help somebody else. So. On your dates, when you go out with these girls, you obviously, but find out what she is interested in. You can tell a lot about a person by what they want to help with, So obviously you're killing it. Like I started Cleo. What do you have? You're literally at that. You're literally at that.
That must be
you got that crazy.
Yeah.
There's this camp called Camp Hask. It's this camp upstate that helps kids. It's a camp, a full-blown summer camp for kids with all kinds of disabilities and struggles that you can't imagine. Some of them need 3 counselors a kid, and the kids that work with them are next level of Mashiach energy. And I always say, if you're ever on a date, on a shidduch date or whatever date with a kid who worked at Camp Hask, don't let this go. You don't let this, make sure you hold on to somebody that meets you. You have to understand, you began Cleo. Cleo.
Yeah.
Chloe.
Yeah.
No.
It's not Chloe. Don't
Okay,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's not nice. You're killing it, but that's when you're on these dates and you really want to, don't ask her like, where do you see yourself? What corporation do you want to work at? What law firm do you go, or religious kids when they're sitting there, are you going to cover your arms? Are you going to cover your head? Are you going to cover your that? What are you going to do in the morning? Are you going to play with the water right by your bed? I ask them, how are you going to help the world? How are you going to create Mashiach energy? Just ask that. In your next date, ask a girl, how are you going to create Mashiach energy? And just see if her head blows off and goes up, what the hell are you talking about? And you say I was on Modi's podcast.
He told me. He told me to do it. I don't know what. I don't know.
I think I would lead with that, baby, first.
What?
That I was on Modi's podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
By the way, let me ask you a question. I've been learning so much about Gen Zs now, right? That's what you are? You guys don't watch comedy specials. You guys...
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple.
You had fully, from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Which ones?
Wait, I haven't seen one in a while, but wait. When
I'm
okay,
learning
yeah.
this, by the way.
When I think a couple of years ago, I watched one of Bo Burnham's comedy shows.
Okay.
It was
With
on
the puppets,
Netflix.
right?
Puppet. He does like music. He does like
Okay.
songs and stuff. Yeah.
So I've learned this recently. Young people are not watching comedy specials. They just watch clips.
Yeah.
It's just, they don't even know that there's like a special they just think that the guy comes on,
Yeah.
does this 1 minute joke and comes off. They don't understand it's a part of a special.
Yeah.
It's so
Well, everything, some of the funniest things I've ever seen. Were
on my clips.
Like, yep.
Okay. What else?
Were like 30-second nonsense videos. There's like an idea called brain rot.
Yeah.
Where it's like these videos that are so dumb. It's like making your brain rot. Some of them are really fun.
You guys grew up with phones.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got a phone?
I was 9.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
No,
because they didn't know when he was 9 that it's really bad to give little kids phones like that. Now we know. We're 10 years, 9 years out.
Yeah.
Like my son's 11. Like all the messaging is, under no circumstances are you to let this child.
Yeah.
Oh, they told you that now?
Oh my God, of course.
What's the age you're supposed to give the kid a phone?
A smartphone should not be before like really high school. Like they don't.
Which is what year? I don't know.
I don't know, like 15.
Yeah.
15.
Like social media, like is like a hard. Absolutely not. It is the most dangerous thing.
And so you got it at 9. Right.
I had to do a lot of convincing. I pulled out the we have AT&T, and they had some kind of deal where it's like if you add another line, I was like, look, you're gonna save so much money by getting me a phone.
Even at 9 years old.
At 9 years old,
whatever it takes.
You were negotiating with your parents.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Good for you.
But yeah, I mean, it was fine. I think. Look, I think I end up okay, but I still have problems sometimes, like with just not being on my phone. I mean, it's hard for all of us. So one thing that helped me a lot was I grew up going to summer camp.
Okay.
And
where, if I have to, though?
New Hampshire.
What's the name of the camp?
It's called Camp Sunapee. It's a Russian Jewish camp.
Yeah.
And for 4 weeks, sometimes 2, or you could go for 4. You have no phone in the middle of the summer.
Wow.
And you're, in nature, and it was very healthy, I think. And now this summer I'm going back with my best friend to run the camp as like the leaders of the whole
the
operation.
counselor.
No, like the whole camp. Like
Really?
I'm leading the camp with my best friend. Yeah. So excited. Yeah, it's gonna be my 10th summer, but yeah, it's gonna be really good. And I think that was honestly the real value of the camp, was that I had a few weeks every year with no phone. And I think most people don't have that right now.
I can't. It's so funny. I remember, you know, like when the kids went to camp back in the day, it was just to see nature. Now it's like you have a respite from your phone.
It wasn't even no phone. It was like no outside information, period. Like if a counselor is caught like giving their phone to a camper, they're fired. Like it's like on lockdown. The only access you have to the outside world is every day. Like parents and people can send emails, and once a day they print the emails and give them out. And that's all. That's the only contact there is with the outside world.
Oh my God.
So
I went to
really
camp in 1979 to 80, whatever 5 years after that would be, 83, 4. And the big thing was like packages. When you get a package.
Yes, I remember
we have
that.
packages as well.
Every day in the afternoon, you went and they put the packages out. And if you saw one with your name, you were in heaven.
Yes.
Heaven. And then you had the phone call. Modi, your mother's on the phone, and you ran to the headquarter bunk. I went to Camp Scatico, and you went to the headquarter, and you answered the phone.
How old were you when you went?
I was 7. I was 9 to 14. Yeah.
Wow.
5 years at Camp Scatico. Yeah.
Where is that?
In the Berkshires.
Okay.
And that was like, and my parents were like, no, this is good. You have to go for nature. You have to be in nature. I'm like, what? And he goes, are you guys going to nature? No, we're going to Paris. But you know, and my mom goes, and there's this thing called visiting day. I don't know if we're going to be here for this visiting day.
Yeah, it's the same with us. We actually have, the same with us that parents take the opportunity to go on vacation. But we have no phones, no phone calls.
Yeah.
So like a parent, you know, through this sign-up process, the parents have our phone numbers, and we're instructed, like, if you get a text message from a parent, don't answer.
You keep your phones, though. You have your phones.
Counselors.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
okay.
So, yeah, no phones. And I know, and I've experienced, it's really weird. I experienced it as a camper, and then I experienced it as a counselor as well, that when a kid hasn't heard the sound of their mom's voice for 2 weeks or for a week and a half, and they're really homesick, and they like somehow get through and convince someone to let them have a phone call, they just break down in tears because they're so homesick. And it happened to me once when I got pretty sick. So I was in the nurse's cabin by myself for like 3-4 days, and bad summer. And they didn't let me have my phone still. So I was just sitting there like playing cards with myself. Like, you know, I had I think a roommate who was a few years younger than me, but it was not ideal. And they let me call my mom, and I was completely normal. And then I pick up the phone, and I'm like, I just break down because I haven't heard her voice. And I'm so like miserable. So yeah.
That's amazing. First of all, so now we're learning a whole other element to you. Not only are you able to counsel seniors, people in their last like chapter of their lives, you're also a counselor to young kids in camp.
Yeah, that came first. Yeah, camp was definitely. I mean, it was very special. We also have an Israel camp that is like American counselors can volunteer to be counselors in the Israel camp, and it's Sderot.
Yeah.
So it's for Sderot kids.
Yeah.
And so it's all run by the same kind of.
It's in Sderot. That's where the camp
it's in Tel Aviv, but they take kids from Sderot. But they don't want to do it there just for like naturally. Like the idea is to get them out of Sderot for some time.
For a little time.
Yeah, because like so they don't have to deal with like all the sirens and the whatnot.
So did those kids the kids from Sderot come to this camp?
No, they go to Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv.
And American counselors go to Tel Aviv from this camp, go to Tel Aviv to be the counselors to the kids from Sderot.
Yeah.
So the gain there is that they meet American kids.
Yeah. Well, it's like we just basically do a replica of our camp in the U.S. for them, and we do like English classes for them. And so the last year we were not able to do it, and so we flew them out to come to our camp.
Oh,
Or not all of them.
wow.
We flew like a subset of like 20 kids.
20 kids is a lot. That's
but
amazing.
it was a whole fundraising thing, and then we got them out to come to our camp, and they got to see like where this all came from, where their camp.
That's
came from.
amazing.
Wow.
Can you imagine 20 kids from Sderot getting flown out to some camp in New Hampshire?
Unbelievable. That's,
Many of them had never like been out
Oh,
of the
I'm
country.
sure.
I'm sure. And then they just to
Sure,
not
many
hear,
of them had never been out of Sderot before.
to not hear sirens, to not hear Israeli news, to not hear Hebrew. It's just it's just wow. What an you keep blowing me away.
Stop.
First it was Chloe, then it was
Cleo.
Cleo, then it was the Chabad on campus that you're a part of. Now then you're teaching kids. You're also a counselor to kids and adults, and this Israeli thing. What else? What else are you hiding from us?
There's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
Well,
Where do you see yourself? I can imagine this in 5 years. Are you in law school? Are you in what's the deal? What?
I don't know. I mean, that's like, I feel strongly that I'll figure it out, but I don't have an answer to that question.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's also an answer.
Yeah.
what are your parents like?
Just what it, like in general?
Yeah, like what do they do?
Are they
Who are
beyond
they?
proud of you? Are they like my son
Very
began Chloe? Period. Cleo.
Now you're doing it on
No,
purpose.
I don't. I'm really at this point. How am I going to remember this?
Yeah.
Cleo.
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. Perfect. Cleopatra.
go.
That's good. Okay. So you do they walk around saying my son here? Did you see this video of my son? My mother.
I don't think
my
they
mother
do.
would show everybody. What?
They're proud. They're very proud, but they don't like to show off. They're modest.
Where are
like,
they? They're in
They're in
Florida?
Fort Myers. Dad's a doctor. Mom's a nurse. They met in Tel Aviv University.
Stop.
Wow.
Yeah, and then but they're very happy. I have 2 siblings, and we all are doing very well. So they have no complaints. So
Well, they did a good job.
They did a great
think
job. Are you kidding me?
I couldn't have asked for better parents.
Oh.
Oh yes. I hope your son gives you a thumb up.
I know. I was just thinking that.
Is your son
like,
gonna give you a thumbs
I
up?
think so.
Or your son's gonna be like, oh yeah, they didn't give me a phone till 15, but believe me, that was the least of my problems. Let
I
me
don't
show
know.
you. Here's
I
my
think
mom, and then you come roaring in.
I think my son knows he's got a pretty cool.
Oh, he's so cool. Her son's like super cool. Beyond, he's like cool in a different, like you're cool in the way you're in your world, like, and this whole thing is amazing. And her son's gonna be cool. He's creative. His mind thinks differently. It's
Yeah, he's Mashiach energy too. He really is.
How is he? How old is he?
He's 11. He just
Oh,
turned
that's right.
11.
yeah.
Well, 11-year-olds they're pretty cool. I know some. Cool
Yeah,
11-year-olds.
he's pretty magical. Wait a second. The Luigi Mangione kid, the one who killed went to his-
CEO.
Yeah, not Mashiach energy.
You're doing very well for your first podcast.
You're killing it.
I mean, yeah, that's the talk of Penn.
By
That's
the way,
what's going- I
by the
mean,
way, pick up your head a little bit and cover here.
Oh yeah, I have a green jacket that looks exactly like it, and I was wearing it the other day, and then I went to the bathroom to wash my hands, and I realized, so I took it off because I looked a little bit like I wasn't.
You're not Luigi. I mean,
not-
with the eyebrows are killing it. You have the look into the camera. Pick up so there's no like that, like
And then
this. Okay, and then cover here like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Luigi.
Yeah, I hope.
Luigi. No, but God forbid, you're not gonna.
But wait,
No.
this is the talk. Like everybody on campus is talking about this,
Because
right?
he went to your school.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was funny because the day before it came out that it was him, there was another big thing that was blowing up that there was some drama about frats and everyone was talking about it. It was something really dumb. And then this thing came out the next day and it was like the next thing, like everyone was like, nothing can get crazier than this thing, which in retrospect was really not that interesting. And then this Luigi thing came out. That was like totally insane because first of all, so I'm studying basically like almost computer science. It's called AI is the major name, but it's like it's basically computer science with like some modifications. And he studied computer science at Penn. He had the same professors. He took the same classes. He was a TA for, the class I'm taking next semester. The head, like he was, in the same frat as I'm in a club called Hack for Impact. We do like just build little projects for like nonprofits basically. And he was not in the club, but he was in the same frat as a bunch of the
There's a lot of comedians I know that are in a club called Hack for Impact.
Stop it.
A lot of comedians I know are in that club too. But go ahead. Thank you. Keep going.
So that's yeah. I mean, it's
So are people freaking out?
they're on side chat. People are very like they admire. They're very I don't know the word. They're saying a lot of like very nice things. They're like, oh, I love Luigi, he's so cute.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
People are morons.
Well,
are
people online all over the internet are like that. Yeah, they are
it's not just there. It's all over the place.
Yeah, but I feel like also now that like this initial thing has settled, like we understand that this is a terrible, insane thing. Like for as awful as the healthcare system is, like murdering somebody who has a family in broad daylight is not the way to handle that, right?
Well, it wasn't broad daylight. It was still dark, but it's not good. But the fact that it was the CEO of like
the biggest healthcare
nightmare health corporation, and he happens to be an attractive killer.
Right.
That helped also. If he was ugly, no one would care.
That's true. That's true. You're right about that.
It's a big thing. And so, but it's not. It's crazy. It shows you that the world's crazy. It shows that everybody's on Luigi's side. Is like it shows that the world's not
unhinged.
well.
It's
unhinged, and
I have been really upset since October 7th about with everybody else what's going on in the world, and really looking at like your generation being like, we are fucked. But meeting you and hearing everything about what you and all of your friends are doing really gives me a lot of hope.
Wow. What a great way to bring this in. I am telling you right now, I'm looking at you and I see a pure Mashiach energy. And I don't meet college kids that when I do shows, I don't meet them afterwards and all that. But they're in there. They're in my shows. They're in shock that there's an hour worth of comedy to be told. It's really, I can't thank you enough. You brought me hope today.
My pleasure. I loved being here.
And please, I'm going to give you a yarmulke to bring to Rabbi Levi, and you'll find out his last name, and you'll text it to me. And that's it. And if you ever need anything from us, we'll let you know. I'm going to put you together with Arthur and we're going
to take you to see like a comedy shows.
I feel like, So how is it difficult to get in and out from Penn to New York?
I just took the Amtrak. I mean, Philadelphia is right. So it was like an hour
really
and
close.
A half Amtrak. Okay. Hour and a little bit.
The only thing is he's in the middle of finals right now.
Yeah,
so he's
busy
really,
with school a little bit.
Okay.
But there's always time.
Thank you very much for coming to the podcast. Yes.
And I just want to say this because by the time we air this, we will be after.
I can't.
But you have 3 like earth-shatteringly huge shows coming up next week.
Upcoming week, yeah. My finals are also coming up.
There you go. I have three finals next week.
But I'm looking forward to mine. Are you looking forward to your finals?
I'm looking forward to the moment the last final ends.
I'm telling you, I'm focusing on looking forward to being in the final. In these, God forbid, finals. They're just big episodes of my life. These big 3 shows at the Beacon Theater, 3,000 people, and just. The hour and change is amazing, and the people are excited. I'm excited. It's what a great Friday, the Shabbos before the shows, to meet you, and that's it. Besides the Beacon shows that are already going to be after this, ModiLive.com, we have shows in. We're in Austin and Houston on the 22nd. On the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, go to ModiLive.com and find out which shows are for you in there, and get tickets and be the friend that brings the friends to the comedy show. Also, Florida, the 6th And we'll be in Fort Lauderdale, and then Tampa on the 13th, and then back to Fort Lauderdale for the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And then there's shows in March. LA, get your tickets before they're gone. March 20th, and all the other shows around that. Everything's available on modilive.com. Get your tickets. And then also, what's your Instagram?
Aaron Smoylar, Aaron Smolyar, one word.
Hit him up if you have a single daughter, and Cleopatra. And Cleopatra?
Cleo.
Cleo.
Yes, it's in my bio. Link in bio.
Link in bio, and help them out. And that's unbelievable, Mashiach energy. Thank you so much for coming.
No problem. It's been great.
Everybody, thanks for listening.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.